Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we are back. It's just the two of us this week, but we're going to get right into it. There's plenty to talk about. So, checked out this week. Micah, you and I both watched Alex Garland's Civil War, not to be confused with the Marvel movie Civil War. This is probably A24's most ambitious film as far as scale goes. Alex Garland, most famous for writing 28 Days Later, Annihilation. I think he wrote and directed, and he obviously wrote and directed this one. So,
did you do Ex Machina also?
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did, which was
I really
wonderful.
like Ex Machina.
That's a wonderful film. I love it. So I'll go first on my thoughts on this. I thought it was great. I really did. I was hoping from the trailers that it was going to be great, and I was not disappointed. It is, in fact, I mean, so the point here is that the movie is actually about sort of a fictional, I guess, future in America. I don't know, November, where the U.S. is gripped in an actual modern civil war. Right, the current president, played by Nick Offerman, is in his third term. And the California and Texas have split off from the United States, and they have joined forces that they refer to as the Western Front, and then there's the rest of the United States. So it basically follows a number of photojournalists and traditional journalists as they're trying to make their way from New York into D.C. because they want to try to interview the president as all of this shit is going on. And again, there's a massive civil war going on across large parts of the nation. So I dug it. I thought the direction was really good. I really loved the story. I liked that it was about war journalism because it gives a different perspective. It's disturbing. Like, it's incredibly violent in moments. I like a lot of people I heard didn't like the ending. I really like the ending. Because it cuts back to a thing that is said by one of the characters. But yeah, I thought everyone in it was very good. I enjoyed it quite a lot. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked the movie, but I didn't love it. I heard it was going to be about photojournalists and journalism, and pure journalism is supposed to be what these people are doing, right? They're supposed to be just documentarians in the strictest term, right? Like, sure. I'm here to film, and that's it. And I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed. I find the idea of a modern civil war to be incredibly interesting, and I wish that this movie had the balls, one way or another, to they kind of intimate what the war was about, right? Like, this particular president is so hated that Texas and California decide that we can't have this, right? Meanwhile, there's a Florida alliance that covers the South, and there's the New People's Army that covers the North. And then there are the rest of the states who are loyal to the president. So there are four factions here, right? But the movie, and I'm pulling this from Wikipedia.
Sure.
But they don't really get into that. They don't really get into what the Civil War was actually about. Which, okay, I understand the photojournalists, but these people. I forget the male character's name. He is Joel. Joel is not a photojournalist.
He's just a journalist. He's a regular journalist.
He's a journalist. He is a journalist. He didn't ask these people one question. And that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know why
Which
these
people.
Anybody.
Literally
the people
anybody.
they
ran into. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He didn't ask them one question. He's like, I wanna get a quote from the president, and that's what I want, right? And by the end of the movie, you kind of see where his allegiances lie, right?
Yeah.
You know, when it's very much so. But I felt like I was just left in the dark, and this was just kind of a ride. And
Okay, that's fair.
and yeah, and I was really interested. The most compelling thing about this was Jesse Plemons' scene. It was the closest you got to really feeling like what people are angry about. And
see, that's so funny. I didn't like. I love that scene. It's fucking disturbing. Like,
it's super tense.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons is a very, very good actor, man. Like, I don't know if people realize how good he is. Yeah, it's so funny. I didn't feel like that gave me sort of a window in. But continue your point.
Oh, I most certainly did. What kind of American are you? Where you from?
Yeah.
Right? Where you from? Like, I 100% can see someone doing that.
Oh, 100%.
In the real world, right?
Yeah,
Where are you from? And if you don't give the right answer, something's gonna happen, right? And look, a lot of this is me transferring what is happening in the world right now,
of course,
into this art, right? Which I think is the point.
It is.
But the film, I don't know, man. I wish the film took a bit of a stand, right? I'm beyond fence riders. Okay? There's no such thing as an undecided voter at this point. There can't be.
There should be.
I don't know. Look,
who do I pick?
Look, right. I don't respect you if you are. Look, if you are team red or team blue or team green for some fucking reason, at least you picked a team, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know where you stand. And I can't, I don't, and I wish the movie had the balls to do it, right? Especially because this is from the guy that did Men.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
right.
I mean?
He did. He took a stand, a disgusting stand, but it was a stand. Holy shit, that movie is so disturbing.
Right. So I just wish the movie. I like the movie. I think this was A20 Film, literally A20 Films like biggest budget movie.
I believe so. Yeah, probably.
You know, it's most action packed. The scenes of the photos were beautiful. The war journalists, right? The photos were absolutely beautiful. The action scenes were great. The characters were smart, right? Like they weren't just like derp, and when they did do something dumb, you understood why they're doing something dumb, because they have this passion for, like, I have to get this shot, and then you do something dumb, and then something happens, right? But my only gripe is that I just wish the movie was a little bit of a fence riding movie, and you know, like The Hunt. You remember The Hunt? That movie, The Hunt?
No.
Where it was a bunch of
the liberals hunting
conservatives.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That took more of a stand. That took more of a stand, and then it didn't in like the last 15 minutes.
I was gonna say it doesn't really. It copped out. These people are totally different than everyone else. Like, all right, well,
it really copped out.
You almost
right. I was really disappointed with the end, but like for the first two acts, it took a stand, whether you like that stand or not.
So okay, I'll push back. I'll push back a bit on this. So your point that they're photojournalists and that they're supposed to be just documenting, doesn't that push against your perspective that you don't want it to be a fence riding movie?
The photojournalists, yes. One of them is a journalist who is looking for his whole mission for being there.
Oh, he very much has a side. Yeah.
Right. He has a side. I needed more of that. I needed a little more of that. I have no problem with Kirsten Dunst's character, I have no problem.
She was very good in this, by the way. I thought
Kirsten Dunst is a good actress, man. Like people forget that for some reason. I have no problem with Stephen Henderson's character.
He was awesome. He was awesome.
He was.
That dude never delivers anything but 100%. Like, I really liked him. Sammy, if you've seen the movie, the old journalist.
My only problem is that this journalist is like he didn't ask anybody any questions, and this is such an interesting premise. Like, it's not in a journalist's nature to not want to ask questions. That's it.
Okay. So what I would say is he is spoiler alert for the movie, right? If you haven't seen it, just like fast forward a bit, because I do want to talk spoilers a little bit. One, Wagner Moura is fucking great in this movie, and he's great in everything. I like the little I've seen of Narcos. I really liked him. And he was also in a movie about the military police in Brazil. That was like one of his first major roles. I forget the name of it. If I can remember, if I find it, I'll tell you. It's fucking awesome. His character Joel, I agree, is a traditional journalist, but I also think that Joel is. I mean, he is jazzed up at the idea of the insanity of this, right? Like that, like he's like, this shit gets me hard. Like he is like, he wants to be fucking in it, right? He always wants to be in it. But I think the moments of him asking questions is just not shown. Now, I agree they should have been, but I don't think that he's going through this without asking questions. Like, I mean, here he is taking pictures with the fucking like thumbs up with these guys who are clearly in whatever forces, I guess, like the Florida Alliance and shit like that. I think he's deeply interested in their perspectives, all of them, like kind of equally. But I do think he has a side, which is fuck the president. Like that's clearly his side. So yeah, I think it's just not a thing that's just shown first, like straight up. And that's a fair. I think it's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
So that I thought I think it's a good criticism. The rest of it, I thought that the whole purpose is to watch these people who have gone and seen this shit happen around the world, and they're experiencing it in their own country, and they're like weirdly calm about it because they've dealt with it, right? Sammy is this older journalist. He's clearly done a lot of international work. Kirsten Dunst's character is a famous, war photojournalist. She's done a lot of this shit. Then you have Joel, who's clearly seasoned. But then you have Jessie, who is this young woman who is in her early 20s who wants to be a photojournalist, who tags along with them. And sort of her nervousness and like that to me, she was a good POV character. Like she was a really, really good POV character. And the line that's said by Sammy's character to me, and again, I think, and I don't know, but people's complaint, my guess about the ending is that it wasn't, when they finally get to the president, it's not a big dramatic scene. And I think I know why. I mean, the run up to it is super dramatic. So I didn't understand. I was like, this action sequence is fucking awesome. Like I was right. I'm rooting for him, man. It was great.
Were you expecting a boss battle? Like,
right. And he's like rips his shirt off. He's jacked, like for no reason. He's like, no, you got to fist fight me, like for the Constitution. Nicolas Cage is there. It's very weird. So, but I think they wanted something else, like him to be hung publicly, like something crazy instead of what happens to him. But if you watch the movie, Sammy gives you the ending. He says, Gaddafi, Ceausescu, and all these other guys, when you meet them, they're far lesser men than you think they are. And that was the point. When they find him, he's literally hiding under the Resolute desk, and they drag him out. There is no fantasy. He's not a tough guy. He's not, give me liberty or give me death. His quote is, please don't let them kill me. And Joel's like, that'll do. And then they shot his ass. But Sammy gives you the ending. He tells you what it is, right? And so I feel like people don't pay attention a lot of times. But when they show him briefly getting pulled from under that desk, that quote popped in my head. I was like, he's 100% correct. He is a much smaller man than you think. And I thought that was a great ending. The moment kind of right before that was, to me, much more indicative when they finally get into that White House and the press secretary or whatever is like, hold on, we need terms to let the president pass. You guys got to agree to that. And they were like, yeah, let him out. We'll take care of him. He's like, no, we need a definitive thing. And they were just like, nah, fuck that. Boom, boom. And they shot her ass and was like, no, we're not playing. Like, we're not fucking around. And I love that because to me, that the way they handled that and the way they killed every Secret Service person after that and then killed the president is what we should have done in the Civil War the original Civil War, and we didn't. We let those guys go home and just fucking chill. That is not what the Western forces were about. They were like, nah, we read a history book. Fuck that. So to me, that ending made a lot of sense. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I did not watch this with my wife because I'm not sure she would have slept for a week. She would have been so deeply disturbed by this movie. There's references to Antifa. There's references to the Boogaloo Boys. If you know anything about them, like the guys, the Florida Alliance guys that were, I assume that was them in full military fucking loadout gear with the Hawaiian shirts. That's a reference to the Boogaloo Boys. That's how they dressed, right? And they're fucking terrorists. So and that scene was brutal as shit when the guy gets killed. It was, yeah. I'd like to watch it again because there's a lot there. But I agree with you about the Joel character. I 100% agree with that.
Everything else about the movie I really did like, including the ending. I don't understand why people didn't understand the ending. You don't even have to be like into politics to realize that like authoritarians are. Yeah, didn't they find Hitler in a bunker, hiding, killing? Yeah, and he killed himself. Like, I mean, when you think of authoritarians, like. There you go.
Top of the list, guys. Top of the list.
So, but look, I enjoyed the movie. My one gripe notwithstanding, again, the Jesse Plemons scene makes the movie. It doesn't make the movie, but it is a real highlight for me. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, man, A24, continue to knock them out the park, man.
Nigga, when they go into DC and they're going and I have it up, and they got the dudes in the parking garage and they just bring that fucking helicopter and was like, destroy it. They just fucking laser the entire thing. I was like, Jesus Christ. That whole last scene is dope, man. That last 20 minutes is when they were like, we're going into DC. Like, from that moment past, it is holy shit, dude. They use a bazooka on the fucking Lincoln Memorial, dude. Like, that shit was wild. Like, god damn. But yeah, look, A24, this movie cost $50 million? $50 million. That's it. I don't know what they're doing over there, man. I don't know, embezzling money or something. But they're figuring out how to make great fucking films for tiny budgets, and it is impressive.
Well, apparently there was some controversy that AI was used in the making of some of this.
You want people to get shot for real?
I guess it was for the marketing. Yeah, not the actual film, but for marketing. Okay.
All right, I guess. All right. Like, AI is going to be used at some point. This is not a thing to get bent out of shape about. Actors and shit like that being used as AI. Okay, that's a problem. A poster. All right, whatever. I just love that. Oh, let's come up with a protocol for the president to come out. They were like, nah, they just shot her. It's like, you know what? That's on you, lady. We don't give a fuck. So good. That's how you're supposed to handle civil war.
I can never. Look, as much as I like have reverence for not reverence, but I have respect for people who join the military. I can never do it because I don't care about my job that much.
No. Now we need you to storm DC. All right, I quit. I ain't going.
Right. The fuck out of here. As soon as she said, I dropped my gun, I'm unarmed, and they came in there with guns trained on me, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do whatever you want, yo.
No, I'm gonna lay down. Yo, he back there. He in the back room.
He over there. Yeah. He hiding under the desk.
Yeah.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, he a
It's the
scared
room.
ass.
It's the
He's
room
scared
shaped
bitch.
like a big ass oval. You can't miss that shit.
Just walk in and just start shooting the desk. Don't worry, he's a big guy. You'll get him. Like, I'm with y'all. I'm a part of the West. I'm a secret agent. I've been working it on the inside. Nah, fuck that. Yeah, the people they were like, oh, go ride in the beast and try to distract them. I'm not going. Fuck that.
No, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm gonna give them. And they got murked when they got out of that car. You know, they were like, we're not having conversations. We're not having conversations. So yeah, no, it was good, man. It was good. Look, I think it is the one other thing I'll say just before we move on. I don't want to hear people talk about like, oh, the Civil War wouldn't be a big deal, the liberals would win, or the conservatives would kick the liberals out. Any of that. Nah, yo, what they show you is a Civil War would be fucking terrifying. It would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, you keep calling liberals soy boy cucks and all that, but I know a bunch of them who love guns. Look, all you need to do is take some liberal who's never shot a gun, take them to a range.
They like that shit. I do.
This is kind of fun.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You also don't know what people are willing to do in moments like that. Like you find everything's cool. Yeah. Let people lose their families and see what type of time people are on after that. I don't care what their politics are. You see what type of time they're on. Yeah, some people will cramp up and just be like, I can't. And some people are like, oh, word? This is what we're doing? Let's roll. And
on both sides, by the way.
On both sides. 100%.
All that blustering and pride from my cold dead hand. Well, all right, you should have shot.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're gonna do in the middle of shit. And by the way, one of the things I did like is that the Western forces, it wasn't just a bunch of ragtag Americans. They were military who had been in those states who were like, we're done with the United States. So everybody who was in the Western forces were former military, like former U.S. military. So they didn't we don't know what to do. Like, nah, they knew exactly what to do. Like the people who killed the president, that motherfuckers was not playing. You know? It was like SEAL Team 6 type of shit. With a black woman right up front too. I was like, all right. Yeah, good. So yeah, it is an interesting movie to say the least. I really, really enjoyed it. But I look forward to whatever Alex Garland does next. Like if he wanted to do this into a series, that would be interesting as fuck. Like a mini series type of 6-8 episodes. I would watch the shit out of it if it was as well done as this with more detail and stuff like that. That would be fantastic. All right, Star Wars Acolyte. Micah, on a scale of 1 to too many minorities, what did you think of this? The first 2 episodes of Acolyte.
I really I like it. I think the show is interesting. They kind of give away the mystery a little too fast for my liking. And it's and coupled with the fact that it's pretty obvious and cliched.
Even inside Star Wars, by the way.
That was a little disappointing. But I did like it. It feels like a meta commentary on police. And when you go back, I mean, it's, you got so the Jedi in this era, in the High Republic era, and look, I'm not a Star Wars fan. Okay. I'm not a Star Wars junkie, right? Right. I do like the High Republic era, and in the High Republic era, this is where Jedi flourish. This is where they are at their highest. And this takes place at the end of that era. So you see the downfall of the High Republic, and the Jedi are basically this, the religious police, right? Like they take it about themselves to go around and make sure that no one else is using the Force for any type of misdeeds that they deem are bad. right? For light and life, right? For the light side of the Force and to protect life, right? That's their kind of mantra. And that's why there are no like Sith. And that's why people don't use like dark side powers and shit, because they are going around and they are making sure that right. So they're making sure to stomp that shit out. But what is going on here is the May character who is going around murdering these Jedi. You got to think of it like she's murdering cops, right?
Yeah.
And
who did her wrong for some very specific reason.
Who did her wrong, right? Mm-hmm. And even to the point where she's trying to instill fear, right? She's trying to instill fear amongst the Jedi Order, even so far as to reach for their weapon, right? What is the most common phrase? Yeah. There are two common phrases that asshole cops use when they murder some unarmed person. He was reaching for my gun and I feared for my life, right? And that's literally what she's doing. She's reaching for their gun, right? And even in the first scene where Carrie-Anne Moss, where she's fighting Carrie-Anne Moss is trying to be like, calm. She's trying to be cool, right? She's trying to be collected. She's like, Jedi don't fight and all that. Like, and the main character is like, come on, fight me, I dare you, right? And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that shit. So she goes and she causes a ruckus, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna have to put you down, right? Like Carrie-Anne Moss is like, I gotta put you down, right? And they fight. May reaches for the lightsaber, but she misses. May takes a hostage, and then that's when the gun comes out, right? That's when the gun comes out. And then she reminds her, she's like, look, you pull that gun out, you better be ready to use it. Like if you pull a gun out and point it at something, you better be prepared for it to die. Right? Like she quite literally says that. That's something that cops are told. Like if you pull out your service weapon, you prepare to use it. It is with intent. It is with intent to kill. Right? And cops forget that. Right? And that's what I like, right? Because the what's that black guy's character? What's Killmonger's character? Ward. Yo, this dude is the classic, like, stick up his ass, like, I follow the policeman's code and this, that. Mm-hmm. But he's also a chicken shit, like most cops nowadays, right? Most cops nowadays who have a very hard job, don't get me wrong, but they're also afraid to take a punch, right? And the first thing he does whenever anybody reaches for anything, the first thing he does is he reaches for his gun, right? He pulls that shit out in at times where you don't need it, where you don't need to do it. He escalates that shit, and he does it out of fear. And that is the commentary that this show is trying to establish, that I'm sure will go over a lot of people's heads. But right. And look, I'm not the first person to make this leap, right? I'm not the first person to come up with this, right? Like I've seen other people. I was like, this is kind of weird. And then I look and I see other people have this idea also. So I'm not like crazy, but I'm not like some genius that like figured this shit out, right?
Definitely not a genius.
Definitely not. I'm a dummy. But I don't know, man. I find this super interesting because I remember Leonardo getting on me like, oh, wow, what are you, the Jedi, they're great. They're great. What are you talking about?
No, dude. They're fucking religious fundamentalists, yo. They make child soldiers. Like that's their whole thing. They're crazy.
Like they're not the Jedi are the Jedi. Of course the Jedi are good, right? Like they're good guys. They're the good guys and gals, right? But they're human, and they are fallible, and you can,
they're not human. We're all aliens. We're all together, man. More on that one.
And you can have it written in your code or whatever that you need to not suppress your emotions, but keep your emotions in check, right? The Jedi code is just police training, right? But all that shit goes out the window when, like we said, like we just talked about, you don't know what you're gonna do when you're put in a situation, right? And you know, if you have enough training, like Soul, the character Soul, he goes into a situation confident but cautious, right? Whereas Yord is just like, look at my abs. What? Huh? What? like what you reaching for, right? Like,
yo, that scene was like, yo, relax. Hey, I mean, right. he is a chicken shit, but like, so I like the show. I think it looks good and all that other stuff. I think that's a very good point about the police aspect of it. And I figured that's a part of the Jedi downfall, is that their sort of fake perfection is going to eventually be seen as, like, widely seen as just a mask. Like, it's bullshit. You're still an authoritarian style figure, right? Oh, we're all peace and love and everything else. It's like, yeah, but you're not really, right? You're peace and love as long as everyone is following what you want them to do, right? So I like all of that. I agree that the whole, as it stands right now, the big giveaway or the big secret, that was super obvious right away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that, at least at this point, I don't have any sort of major issues with the show. There's nothing that kind of really bothers me. Seems fine. Like, action sequences are pretty good and all this other stuff. The writing seems fine. So, I'm in it. I've determined that there is a very easy way to enjoy Star Wars stuff. Stop making it your entire personality. Like, you have to. You have to. People who are so, like, who to the point where they think it is, I don't mean like you can enjoy it. Like, Leonardo is a big, super, super Star Wars fan, and that's fine. But he's never like, Star Wars is perfect and there's nothing wrong with it at all. And I don't mean, and I'm saying pre-Disney, right? Because I think people have all these like, well, no, there's a lot of issues now that Disney took it over. I'm sorry. Did you watch the one that came out in 1977? That's a perfect film to you? It's not. I still love it. I still love the one that came out in 80 and 83 too. They are not perfect films. And when you take them as perfect films, and the direction, the writing, especially the direction in the first movie as being perfect, and then you then look at, oh, this other company came in and now they own it and now it's all trash. Again, you were like 4 when you saw the first one, so I'm not so sure that you really have a real like definitive look, or a discerning look rather, at these movies. Just don't make it your whole fucking personality. Just enjoy it. There's some shit I like. There's some shit I don't like. And also, I'm sorry. I know people hate the latest trilogy. I'm not a fan of it either. The prequel trilogy fucking stunk. And all you people who say it didn't stink, you're all basing that shit off of all of the Clone Wars shit you saw afterwards that made it better. You are. Unless you were a kid when you saw it, which is the same issue that people have with the original. But people are like, no, they're really good now. No, they're not. They're bad movies. They're way too shiny. They're way too shiny. Okay, they're bad movies. But they cleared up a lot of shit in the aftermath. They did, and that's what makes them better movies. But I'm sorry, Attack of the Clones. It's one of the worst fucking Star Wars properties of all time. It's a piece of shit movie. It is. But all of that gets better when you add all the Clone Wars stuff that explains a lot more and fills in all the gaps. Just saying. So I'm not so sure that maybe the last trilogy will remain as much of a fucking turd as it is if they do a bunch of shit to undergird all of the mistakes.
I don't.
It'll be a lot of work.
See them doing.
It'll be a lot of work.
I don't see them doing it. I see them kind of focusing on. I see them focusing on telling stories in this High Republic era.
They should do something new.
Because people love Jedi. There are no Sith, but in the High Republic there are the Nihil, because Star Wars is anything but subtle.
Gee, are they nihilist?
Bingo.
Again, stellar writing. Again, the stuff's for kids. Like, it's for kids. Like, always remember that. The stuff's for kids. It's fine.
And they're like space Vikings, and they go around and they pillage and shit, and it's good. It's good stuff. It's entertaining stuff, and that's all I want from Star Wars. I don't need the stories from the 70s and 80s to just be retold over and over again.
No, do something.
Which I think is what a lot of Star Wars fans want. They want that story retold over and over again, and / or they want it to look like them, and which means like what's all these black people and what's all these women, and there's an Asian man in a heroic. There's an East Asian born man as a heroic character in a Star Wars movie.
Do not want this bad. Do not want. Here's a headline from a website. The Acolyte's Rotten Tomatoes score now puts it in the same ballpark as Andor. But what's the deal with the audience score? This is a stupid fucking question. And this is a bait question, so you can get a bunch of fucking asshole replies. It's got like a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes or a 96, and Andor has like a 94 or 96 as well. What's up with the audience score? The show stars a black woman playing dual roles. It is there's an East Asian man, there is a bunch of women Jedi, and there's a black dude with the Killmonger haircut, of course, as well. And there is no white men in the show except for one Jedi who kills himself. That's why the score is different, because white guys are really, really bad at watching shit that is not centered on them. And I know this is old fucking hat, but get a life. Get a life. We have watched since 1977 all white men running around with laser swords, and we've enjoyed it. Grow up. I'm sorry, everyone isn't about you. Yeah. Do us a favor. Get good. And enjoy where we were. Just enjoy the characters. We got 2 black people in fucking 6 movies. From your precious George Lucas, we got 2 Negroes in it. And all he did was go, who's the most popular black dude right now? Oh, is it Billy D. Williams? Great. Hey, who's the most popular black guy right now? Oh, is it Samuel L. Jackson? Great. That's it. We've got more black people in the Disney shows than have been in all of Star Wars prior than that. The fuck out. There's actually more black people. There is an equal amount of black people in the original or in all of the George Lucas movies as there are black twin women in this show. It's the same number. Like, come on, yo, this is insane. It's insane. Yeah, it's funny because it's sad and true. So yeah. Yeah, that's why the score is different. White people are cannot imagine watching something that isn't about them. And it's annoying.
Yeah. White men specifically. And
yeah, very much so. Because there's white women in it. They're just aliens, but there are white women in it. They're obviously white.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, man. You had the right idea. I don't know if you said it on one of the shows or not, but I know you said it to me. It's I'm not gonna take anybody's opinion on Star Wars.
Not anymore.
Positive or negative or whatever, right? Like, I'm just gonna watch it, and if I like it, I like it, and if I don't, if I'm not feeling it, like, there's some stuff that I like, I'm just not like into it. Like The Bad Batch, I liked that first season, but like I didn't need to watch any more of it. Like, I was fine.
I didn't finish it. And look, here's the thing. I'm not going to bag on it. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
It's okay.
It just didn't hit for me. There's other Star Wars stuff that does.
Yeah.
And Star Wars is for everybody, guys. It's for everybody. Let everybody have Star Wars. Please.
Yeah. Please. All right. So there you go. All right. Topics. Micah, take it away.
Like a Dragon, Yakuza live action series adaptation of the hit Sega game is heading to Prime Video. It will release Like a Dragon, a live action series adaptation of the game franchise. The 6-part crime suspense action series is directed by Tage Mashaharu and Takimoto Kengo, and stars
Yep, go for it.
Takeuchi Ryoma as the lead character, Kazuma Kiryu. It will upload on Prime Video in 2 batches of 3 episodes on October 25th and November 1st, with subtitled and dubbed versions in 30 languages. The series is set in 2 time periods, 1995 and 2005, and follows the life, childhood friends, and repercussions of the decisions of a fearsome and peerless Yakuza warrior with a strong sense of justice, duty, and humanity. The screenplay and story are by Sean Crouch and Nakamura Yugo, with a Japanese screenplay by Yoshida Yasuhiro and Yamada Kana. Look, and then the article goes on to talk about the games. I love these games. I love them.
You're a big fan of this, right?
I think these games. I mean, it's an epic. It is an epic that follows this one character from his early 20s to his late 50s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it is Kazuma Kiryu is a video game icon in certain circles. And he is a character that you would think is incredibly one note, because he is very stoic, but he's remember, Black on Black Cinema just did a review of ATL, and T.I.'s character is the most noble dude of all dudes,
Yeah,
right?
he really is in that movie.
That's who this character is. He is incredibly stoic. He has a strong sense of justice and loyalty, and he will quite literally give you the shirt off his back, but like stay stone faced while you do it. He's a great character, but the rub is that you got to kind of, the games chip away at him, and you see that like
he's a Yakuza, right?
Well, yeah, he's a Yakuza, but like he's a Yakuza because he doesn't have anything else going for him, right? And look, I'm not going to start getting into the complicated lore that is the Like a Dragon series. It's 30 years of this character's life, and quite literally 20 years real time, because the original game came out in 2005.
Oh wow!
So it's 20 years of this character, not the one character, but it's a lot. Look, I'm very excited for this. I can't wait for this to come out. I think you would be into it, and I don't know. Part of it is because
I'm a bit of a secret weeb. I will admit.
Yeah, and like part of it was for me was, this game came out as I was coming out of college, and in college, that's when like I started getting into like Japanese like and Asian cinema. Mm-hmm. Not specifically Japanese, but like Japanese, Korean, Chinese, cinema. And I would just watch everything, right? And then this game came out, and I was like, oh, all right, let's do it. I'm firmly in my weeb bag at 25, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's when I kind of fell in love with the series, right? And it's really good, man. Like,
I'm watching clips of the game. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah, man. And the way the games, and from a game, technical game standpoint, like it all takes place in this one city, right? And it's so cool to see how this one city, which is basically like one game map, just modified to go with whatever time period they're in. Like in Yakuza 0, this place is set in the 80s, and then in the last one, it's like 2020 or something like that. And it's just cool to see, like, it feels like a place that you kind of grew up with for the past 20 years, and it evolves. Yeah, it's cool, man. Look, I'm talking a lot and saying nothing, but I'm very much looking forward to this. I think it, and the fact that it's headed to Prime. Look, Prime secretly, Prime is hanging in there, man. It's hanging in there.
Yeah, it is. Like, I never thought so. I never thought they were going to be able to, like, they were one of the early streaming services, but like nobody gave a fuck. We were like, yeah,
right.
All right, Amazon.
You watched it because like it had a shitty interface, and then you watched it just because you had Amazon Prime. Because like if you shop on Amazon a lot, of course you have to have Prime. And then they just threw in this video stuff. Right. But it's really come up, man. It's really come up. It's like Apple TV, Hulu, and Prime, yo. Like that's where you and
I mean, I'm thinking about canceling Netflix, yo. Like I don't really watch it that often. I just really don't watch it that often. I think that Max would be up there if it weren't for like all that other bullshit. Like if it weren't for all that other bullshit.
Here's the thing.
Max
to me would be up there.
Max is really good because Max gets a lot of big movies very fast, right? Like Dune 2, which I haven't watched yet, which I want to. The Iron Claw, like that's on there. I'm like, fuck, I want to sit and watch these movies. Like that's a nice thing. Like Max does get those pretty big movies. But like as regular shows, like outside of the specifically HBO shows, I don't give a fuck about Max. Like, give me Game
they don't
of
have
Thrones.
Original programming.
They don't have any original programming. I mean, you could call HBO original programming, but like that feels like a bit of a cop out. So yeah, there's nothing on there. Like again, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Boyfriend or whatever. Like I'm not watching any of those shows. Like I'm just not watching those. I think they're ridiculous. Dr. Pimple Popper or whatever stupid ass programming they have. I'm not watching any of that garbage. So yeah, for me, the streaming wise, what I watch the most is Apple TV, Amazon, and yeah, it's kind of Hulu and Disney Plus. But Disney Plus and Hulu are together because like they're connected now. So I just kind of watch the shit through Disney Plus for the most part. But those four,
yeah. Look, Disney Plus, I would be on if I didn't have a kid, I'd be on that. I'll hop on when this comes out, and then I'm gonna hop off.
That's exactly correct because that's the vast majority of the use Disney Plus gets. It's because of my daughter. That's it.
Right.
Like there's no way I could cancel that. She'd be like, "That's cool and all, but I'm gonna need to see Incredibles 2 again." I'm like,
"Where the fuck is Spider-Man?"
Yeah. Why are we not watching Moana? All right, put it on. I really like that movie though. So yeah, Apple, Amazon is on a fucking tear, man. When is what's that Aldous Hodge show come out?
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot because it's on Prime, right? And like I want that guy to do. I'm not rooting against that guy, but I'm not convinced that like. But look, they're convinced, right? They already re-upped it for a second season, so
right.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they have a date. I don't think they have a date because I think the trailer was like coming soon. Like, dude, and Amazon, they'll be like Friday. You're like, oh shit, it's out. Like they just drop this shit and don't even say anything. It's crazy.
Right.
All right. Next up.
Emmy nominee Elle Fanning is in talks to star in Badlands, a standalone movie from Dan Trachtenberg that expands the Predator universe. Trachtenberg is set to direct the movie for 20th Century Studios from a script he co-wrote with Patrick Azon. Badlands comes following the success of Trachtenberg's Prey, the Predator prequel, which was a critical hit and broke records with its release on Hulu. Boy, what a dumb decision to only put that on Hulu.
Yeah, but my guess is Prey 2 will not be on Hulu as an exclusive.
Yeah. The 2022 film was nominated for 5 Primetime Emmys, winning 1 for sound editing. Prey 2 is in early development with its star Amber Midthunder potentially returning. Badlands was announced in February, with the film expected to be in production later this year. No plot yet. So, look, more stuff from the Trachtenberg Predator universe. I'm fine with that. It's wild because I used to watch the Totally Rad show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's wild to see Dan Trachtenberg make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he really did. He really did.
He really did, man. And it was him, Alex Albrecht, and Jeff Kanata. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't think I thought Jeff Kanata would be like the one that kind of broke through mainstream Hollywood, just because he's a tall, handsome guy. Alex Albrecht always seemed like a big old nerd, I'm gonna fix your computer nerd, right? Like a Geek Squad nerd, right? Right. He would be successful, but not in the public eye.
Sure.
And I thought Dan Trachtenberg would be a decent enough director, but not a Prey director. You know what I mean? He's
sought after now, man.
Yeah, man. He did I forgot he did 10 Cloverfield Lane, right?
Which was very good. It was very, very good.
And Prey. And he did this Portal movie that was a short film. That movie was actually pretty good, man.
I remember that.
That was dope.
That's when people were like, oh shit, this guy actually has real talent. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, man. So yeah, good. Nothing but success for that guy, even though he's from Philly. I mean, that's how much I want that guy to succeed. I want him to succeed so he never has to go back to Philadelphia ever again.
That's fair. You're looking out for him, though, if you think about it. Look, I think Prey was great. I thought it was really, really awesome. It was a fun movie. They nailed all of the moments they needed to. They got the key quotes without hammering it in too badly, but you did kind of hammer it in a little bit, but it felt good as a fan. You were just like, fuck yes, if it bleeds, we can kill it. I'm like, you got to say the line. You got to say the line, right? and it just worked because not only did they say it, but they said it in Comanche or whatever, right? So it still had a different era to it. It had a different feel to it, which was just dope. So yeah, I was when I saw the Badlands thing, I was like, it kind of sucks. They're not gonna do a Prey 2, and it was like, no, Prey 2 is still happening. I was like, it is a direct sequel. I was like, all right, well, good and great, So look, I think that's cool. Elle Fanning is a good actress. She really surpassed Dakota Fanning quite seamlessly, honestly. I did like this. Just in popularity.
They related, I guess.
I think they're sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
I like this quote from Amber Midthunder. She says, "Quote: I think a lot of people thought our movie. Speaking about Prey, I think a lot of people thought our movie would be some super woke F the patriarchy kind of story, and that's not what it's about. It's not a girl defying what men say she can and can't do. It's literally an individual who feels called to something, and people who know her don't think that that's her calling. This is so much more personal, and I think as a character, harder to deal with than anything. People don't know a lot about Native history, period. So they don't know what kind of warriors we were. There were known for being some of the fiercest warriors of all time, and they did have female warrior society. So there were women that fought and hunted. Look, I think this is exactly the right quote, right? people think just because it's a woman in an action role that it has to be this anti-man thing. No, you're supposed to be staying at home and hunting, or sort of gathering and being a medicine person. Nah, fuck that. I think I can do this warrior shit. No, I don't think you can. Turns out I can. Like, but if you flip that, how many male action movies has there been of like, hey, you're just the nerd. You can't do this. I think I can. No, you can't. They do it. Oh shit, this guy's actually a tough guy. Happens all the time. It doesn't have to be. We base it on, like, and again, I think that's guys taking it personally. I was like, this is dope. Like, oh, she's supposed to be this medicine chick. Like, she saved a guy, and then she was like out there kicking ass. Okay, like that's just the story. So I like.
I mean, I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I said I didn't see, her femininity is in her being a woman, not whatever definition, right? But I'd be lying if I say I didn't see that. That's like people saying I don't see color. Like, yeah, I do. I see it all the time.
There's a white guy. He's right there. He's coming towards us.
But I try not to judge people's abilities because of it. I said try. I covered myself.
We try.
I covered myself. But the fact that her being,
just give yourself a trapdoor. It's fine.
That's it. That's it. The fact that she was a woman didn't take me out of it. And like sometimes it does, Like I'll be an asshole, right? Sometimes it does. When I see women who look frail, like throw a punch and knock a guy out, like it kind of takes me out of it depending on the movie. It does.
Yeah.
Right?
That's not realistic.
Right. And that's not what Amber Midthunder's character does. She don't fucking square up with the fucking Predator. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, she did an RKO out of nowhere. Like, that's not gonna happen. No.
Right.
But she used her abilities, and like correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't she gets like really good with the sling or whatever. Or no, she uses a bow and arrow with a string on it. Right? Like
she uses a hatchet with a string on it.
Oh, a hatchet. That's right.
And look, and I mean, by that time, she kind of squared up, but like she had to weaken that motherfucker first, Like,
yeah. Like she didn't just go straight at him. Like he threw a bear at one point. Like he just picked up a bear.
right. Like what the fuck? Like you gotta, and all the dudes who wanted to go like toe to toe, right? In all those movies, yeah. You want to go toe to toe with this fucking giant thing? Like, nah, like, I don't know. I say all this to say, I want another Prey movie. That would be dope. But look, while I appreciate this particular setting, now that you introduced like multiple different like predators in different like eras of history,
come on, man.
I'm gonna need more of that. I'm gonna need more of it. And look, I'm not gonna just run.
You gotta Assassin's Creed this shit.
Right. And I'm not gonna run to the Japanese thing, right? Like there are other cultures and other warriors and shit that can benefit from. There are other people that can benefit from having a fucking predator around and giving them shine. I want to see it, man. I want to see it. Predators versus Vikings. Vikings have the advantage, right? They're Nordic. Predators don't like the cold, right?
That's good.
Predators in sub-Saharan Africa.
100%.
Right, nigga.
100%.
Let's fucking do it.
100%. 100%.
Shit.
Yeah. Look, it could be fun. It could be super fun. And the cool thing is, you can do it in any timeline, right? Like, this is in the past. Like, this ain't. They didn't go to the Comanches in 2024. Like, fuck that. Just do it, back before, Europe ruined it. You like, I mean, there was a couple of them there, and they got fucking murked. He killed the shit out of those French guys. It was awesome. But yeah, sub-Saharan Africa, like that.
Predators in India. You'll never see a Western Indian-based movie, right? Like I don't want Bollywood Predator. I want Hollywood Predator in India. You know what I'm saying?
Look. Obviously, Dan Trachtenberg is watching the show. Obviously, if you want to just give a phone call to your boy Dev Patel, who just made Monkey Man, and y'all need to collaborate, I'm just saying, I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
It could be dope. Like the idea of like early India where like people super believed in gods and shit like that, right? Dude, come on, man. And then just like alien comes down, people are like, oh shit, it's Shiva. Like, nah, it's not. It just started killing people. That could be dope. Like you could pick a cool time, like right when the British come to India, and then like, have another situation where you just murder a lot of them. So like it could be really cool. Like that would be fun. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what Trachtenberg does with Badlands, to see if that, because we don't know what the plot is. Is that in the sort of this Prey style where Elle Fanning is in, I don't know, England in fucking 1492 or some shit? I have no idea. Like, where is this taking place? Maybe it is a Viking movie. She's pretty goddamn white. She is.
Yeah, man. Fuck. Let's go, man. Let's go. I like it. I like what you said. The Assassin's Creedification of Predator.
It's fine. It's fine. What, we're supposed to take this series like seriously? Like, oh no, it's too precious. You ugly motherfucker. Like, come on. Like, come on. We can do this, dude. Vikings would be kind of fun. Like, that would be kind of fun. That would be really good.
Fucking the Crusades. Where else did Assassin's Creed take place?
I'm not like I don't want to go to Italy for like 9 movies. All right, so we got it.
Yeah, no, we don't need all that. But
the first Assassin's Creed was that was like during the Crusades or
the first one was during the Crusades. The second, the sequel, and the sequel to that was the Renaissance. The third one was colonial America.
Hey, on!
You played a Native American assassin.
Well, I guess that was kind of Prey, right? Like that was kind of already.
Yeah. The fourth one was kind of like the Bahamas.
Is this the pirate one?
Yeah, and
I'm not mad at that.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm not like jazzed about it. The fifth one was the industrial age in England. The sixth, I can't remember.
Kind of like a Jack the Ripper type of Predator story. That would be kind of weird and interesting. It would be like Predator 2, like in a city.
Yeah, that'd be kind of odd. But and then I know one took place in Egypt, one took place in Greece. The one after Greece was the Viking one.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Right, like, and maybe he lands. Maybe Japanese. Well, maybe they land in. You get a Predator that lands in sort of some Nordic area or whatever, but his technology is so early, like it's different, right? And so he can actually, like, he kills animals and he's somehow is able to warm himself in whatever fashion. I don't know. It's an alien. Fucking you figure it out, Dan Trachtenberg. But so he can still hide, and somehow his cloaking doesn't get fucked up because of the snow or something like that. It could be interesting, right? Yeah. Like, and obviously Sub-Saharan Africa, Japan is an obvious choice. The rainforest, like Brazil, right? Like, kind of take it back to the original, right? Like, because I don't think they ever say exactly where they are in the original, but it's somewhere clearly like that in the rainforest. Like, you could have it come kind of full circle, but just in a different time where there's more sort of native people there. So I don't know. Could be fun, man. Could be fun. So shout out to Dan Trachtenberg, man. That's good stuff. Next up, Damon Lindelof and Chris Mundy joined the DC TV series Green Lantern. So, for folks who don't know who Damon Lindelof is, if you're listening to this show, you should. He obviously did Lost, which was a cultural phenomenon. He also sort of most recently did Watchmen for HBO, which is one of the best sort of continuing sort of its own new thing based on a classic series that I've ever seen. I mean, I just thought HBO's Watchmen was really, really well done. And then Chris Mundy is the showrunner from Ozark, another phenomenal show on Netflix. So, yeah, I think this is good. Having these two kind of big dogs handling Green Lantern is nothing but good news. I suppose that Lindelof is writing this, which is nothing but great news. So, yeah. And also Tom King is joining this team, by the way. Tom King is a sort of a beloved comic book writer. I've read some of Tom King's stuff, if I recall. I've read a little bit of his Batman stuff. It's very good. Like he's a very, very good writer, but I have not read a lot of his stuff. And I think Tom King is the one who, King did Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is the comic series that I guess the Supergirl movie will be based on. So that's also a thing. So he's joining Green Lantern as well. So I don't know, man. That's nothing but good news. What are your thoughts on this?
The Green Lanterns are my favorite DC heroes. This is excellent news. This new era for DC properties, it is looking good. It's looking positive, right? Like, and they're getting all the right people and they're saying all the right things. And, I don't think they're hiring people who I don't think their egos are going to make stuff like crash and burn. You know what I mean? Like people who aren't too full of themselves.
Agreed.
Because they made that mistake already.
I put it all in.
Yeah, I'm just.
Hands. That was stupid. So.
I mean, that's fine if you want to like. It's fine if you need like a captain of the ship, but like you just got to make sure that like that captain knows how to, steer a boat.
not into a series of rocks over and over and over again. So, look, I think this is great. I think it bodes really well for. That's a fucking weird headline. I think that bodes really well for the series. So, yeah. I saw an article, if you want to call it that. Oh, here's 6 reasons DC is already screwed up. I'm like, yo, how about you just wait for the first movie? I know you gotta generate your horseshit content just to get people to click on your stuff. But like, how about we not weaponize our fan bases against properties before they even exist? You haven't even seen a trailer for Superman yet. Just, I don't know, man. Give it a chance. Don't you want to enjoy this shit?
So one still, that's not even going to be in the movie. That's not even going to be in the movie. Like it's just a proof of concept of what, stuff might look like. But
this shit sucks. All right. Cool, man. I'm glad you're having a discerning opinion. It's definitely full of knowledge instead of just your nonsense.
Just wait for it to come out before you say it sucks.
It's like just a trailer, for God's sake. So yeah, I just thought that was silly. So next up, Chris Miller, who is Chris Miller of Lord and Miller, the team who works on the who directs the Spider-Verse movies for Sony. He had a comment about generative AI and whether or not they're going to be using this in the upcoming Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, the last in that trilogy. And I think he was pretty clear. Because, by the way, last week we talked about how a Sony executive was like, well, we're going to be using generative AI in a lot of our work to make the movie-making process that much easier. It's like, okay. So here's Chris Miller, who, again, is a co-director on arguably their biggest movies. Quote, there is no generative AI in Beyond the Spider-Verse, and there never will be. One of the main goals of the films is to create new visual styles that have never been seen in a studio CGI film. not steal the generic plagiarized average of other artists' work. So there you go. I don't think they're going to be using generative AI, which is good. They don't need to. Again, when you're using AI in respect of like what Christopher Miller is talking about, which is like making shit in the movie, yeah, don't do that. Like, don't do that. People work really hard to make interesting things themselves. Like, let those guys do that. So.
Yeah, like, again, AI is fine if it's being used as a tool, right? If you're using it as even if you're, I don't think you should be using it to create, but, if you need a jumping off point, fine. Right. But the problem with that is that a lesser creator can easily get dependent on that jumping off point. You know what I mean? Like it's a slippery slope. Look, sometimes it takes me a long time to create the things that I create, right? But but when I do, I'm incredibly satisfied. So if you just want to use AI to like, I don't know. I don't know what you would use it for in movies because I don't make movies. But if it can make processes easier, fine. I'm all for it. Right.
That's a different conversation altogether.
Right. But, creating, that just stinks, man. And he's right. You couldn't make these Spider-Verse movies with any type of AI, right? AI, you can always tell when an image is AI, right? Like if you're just scrolling on Facebook or whatever, you can always tell when an image looks like AI because they all look the same. And I'm not even talking about like looking at hands to find like 7 fingers on a hand or whatever, right? They all look the same. They don't
have a level of shininess to them that just does not feel real.
Yeah. It is not. It's bad CGI. Like it's and look, it's not gonna. It's only gonna get better, right? It's only gonna get better. But it just looks like shit. It looks like shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot argue this because that is like. There's a lot of AI generated like women in bikini shit on Instagram now. I noticed, and I can tell immediately. I'm like, that's not even like the deformity stuff. It's like there's a sheen to these images that is just very weird. Like you can just tell immediately.
There's an uncanny valleyness to it that you can't quite describe, but you know it when you see it.
You do. You're like, I don't like that, right? Like there's something about it that is just very off.
You know what it is? It looks like Battle Angel Alita or Alita Battle Angel. Ugh. Remember, you remember what she looks like, right? You remember what that character looks like, right?
Yep.
And it looks like live action anime, right? Like it looks like. It looks like if someone took an anime character and then just gussied it up with a bunch of, 3D and CG. And it just doesn't look right. Like proportions are off or things look too perfect, right? Like,
yeah, a lot of times it's too perfect. I'm like, all right, nobody has abs that look that good. Like this is not real. Like it just,
but I'm talking about stuff like, nobody is perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, they're not.
You know what I mean?
They're not.
like physically, no one is perfectly symmetrical.
Right. Like I got one foot that's slightly wider than the other. It's weird.
Yeah, man. It's most guys have one ball that hangs lower than the other. You know what I mean?
Like I got like a golf ball and like a goose egg, right? Okay, maybe not that much.
Like but, it's just man.
Yeah, perfect symmetry. No. That's like a thing that they're gonna have to learn to do in AI is to create faults in it. Like You can't draw a person with a perfectly symmetrical face. Like, dude, you ever seen when they do the videos?
Hold a mirror up to the side of their face to try and catch like the perfectly symmetrical thing. Yeah, it looks weird, man.
Have you ever seen they do so there was something called the Da Vinci mask, right? It was based on like the exact same distance between your eyes and like your eyebrows and like, you know, it's like it's this protocol, right? I guess Da Vinci created it. And they say if your face fits, the closer it fits into that mask, the more beautiful you are. Of course, it's very European based, right?
Right.
But they do that like online occasionally. People will put it over like a celebrity, like Tom Cruise. Like his face fits the Da Vinci mask, and like a lot of like very beautiful Hollywood white women fit into that, right? So it's like, of course, it's very European centric, which is fine, whatever for them. But most people don't, right? Because their faces are not that symmetrical and shit like that. They did one where they put it over Quentin Tarantino's face, and then they manipulated his face so it fit into the protocol, and then like they took away the mask. Yo, he looks so wildly different, and then it changes back to his face, and it was like his face had flipped upside down. Like everything was exactly in the wrong position. It was fucking hilarious. But it just goes to show you, like, I mean, he's not a hideous guy. He's just a regular looking dude, right? Like he's just everybody is not proportioned like that. Like it's unrealistic, basically, unless you're Tom Cruise and a bunch of other people. So there you go. Yeah, I'm glad they're not using AI. Like, there's just no need for that at all. Last but certainly not least, in topics this week, Robert Downey Jr. did an Actors on Actors interview with Variety with who was he with? What's the woman from Night Country? Jodie Foster. And talking to Jodie Foster, Downey was asked, would he ever consider suiting up again as Iron Man? He says, quote, "It's just crazily in my DNA. Probably the most like me character I've ever played, even though he's way cooler than I am." Yeah, right. Like you were just straight up playing yourself. And it's fine. I loved it, but by the end you were just Robert Downey Jr. I've become surprisingly open-minded to the idea. It's really crazy because we look pretty good. He's talking about him and Jodie Foster. It's like, we look pretty good. I was actually looking at stills we were taking, make sure, do we still look good? Kind of good? Like kind of okay? And I'm like, yeah, we look good. So he's not saying that he wouldn't. He says, we're going to keep that moment and not touch that moment, says Kevin Feige about Downey coming back. We all worked very hard for many years to get to that, and we would never want to magically undo it in any way. He says, Downey says, happily, it's too integral a part of my DNA. That role chose me. And look, I always say, never ever bet against Kevin Feige. It is a losing bet. He's the house. He always wins. I don't want him to come back. I really don't. But if you are going to bring him back, I think you do one of two things. You either do the hologram Tony Stark, right? Which is was a very sort of mixed bag in the comics, as people liked it or didn't. Or you bring him back for one movie, like Secret Wars, one time. You can only do this one time, and he's a variant from another universe. It cannot be the Tony Stark that we know. It has to be a variant from the other universe.
If you're going to do the variant route, that's just the perfect time to recast at that point. I also agree with that. I don't need him to come back. Look, would it be dope to see? Sure. I would. Like, if I saw it in the theater, I wouldn't be like, this sucks, right? Like,
you'd be apoplectic about it, of course.
But you can't don't rob people of what that moment means. You know what I mean? Like, don't do the comic book thing, right? And
I think you should just leave him dead. Just leave him dead.
Yeah, same thing with Chris Evans, by the way. Same thing with Chris Evans. You want Steve Rogers back? That was a perfect time to recast him. You want any of those people who are, and I know he didn't die or whatever, but like, and I know he was an old man Cap in the comics, right? I know, I get all that. Nah, let him have his moment, man. Let him. He got his girl. He saved the day. He's back, you know, in the 50s or whatever, right? Like, let that be it. Because like that funeral was like that funeral, and then those subsequent Spider-Man movies all hinge on the fact that like Tony Stark is gone, and you know, don't cheapen it. Don't cheapen it. I understand why he would want to come back for a multitude of reasons. One, oh, it's in my DNA. It's in my DNA. Like it quite literally, they have voice actors who sound like Robert Downey Jr. Because he is that role, right? He is Patrick Stewart to Professor X. He is that role. But at the same time, and like you just did, like, do I still get that back end deal?
Yeah. Yeah, you do. By the way, yeah, you do. Because he ain't coming back for $500,000. I can tell you that.
Right, he ain't coming back just because he really loves the role, right? Like, nah, you're gonna have to break him off. So,
yeah. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. There's part of me that if you're gonna do Secret Wars, I wouldn't mind seeing him, Evans, and Hemsworth one more time. Like, dude, like, and I know people say, "Oh, you can never beat Endgame," and you probably can't. That's absolutely true. But you gotta respect that moment when you see those three motherfuckers walk around that corner to take on Thanos. You were like, "Yo, it has all come down to this." It was like one of the greatest fucking moments in nerd history.
It certainly was.
It's hard. It's hard to go back to that without feeling like you're cheapening it. It's almost impossible. Right.
And for anyone who is like, well, you guys don't know what you're talking about, I have the perfect counter argument the perfect argument for my case of not bringing them back is The Flash. Look at what that did at the end of that movie. They brought back, they pulled on your nostalgia. They brought a CGI Christopher Reeves. Look, man, I love Christopher Reeves Superman, dude. I love it. Like, all you motherfuckers, like, I like Man of Steel and all that. None of you motherfuckers are Christopher Reeve, yo. Like, you're just not. And that's not even nostalgia talking, yo. It's not. Those movies, those first two movies got Superman. They did. As ridiculous as reversing the planet is, like, those movies got Superman.
That would kill everyone on it, but okay.
Like, those movies understood the assignment, and it felt dirty, man. It felt dirty.
Yo, that right? Flash, that whole thing was just like, please stop. Like, for the love of God, where is Christopher Reeves' like estate? Don't do this.
Yeah, man. Like, it just doesn't. It felt kind of. And look, it felt dirty because he's like not with us,
right?
But and this is a very different. You know, Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Tony Stark would be very different. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. And you can't. You're never going to move this forward if you keep relying on the shit that made you great.
And I was just going to make that point because that's 100% correct. Like, him coming back does damage to the narrative,
to your future brand,
to your future brand, right? Because it's like what it shows is you don't believe in it,
right?
And that's not the message you want to have. Now, the only I'll make a counter argument to that, though. If Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine fucking pops, and it looks like it's going to, and it is big money, and everyone is fucking like in it. Marvel is back. Every movie's making $800-900 million, $1 billion movies. We're back, baby. Everybody's going to theater. The hype is there. if you bring Robert Downey Jr. back in a movie in the future where the universe is popping, like people are like, this shit is lit. It is as good as it's ever been, just like the originals. And you brought him back, it doesn't undercut.
That's the only way.
Right. It doesn't undercut this idea because they're having a rough time right now. If you bring him back, the entire narrative is that they had to bring Robert Downey Jr. back to save the universe. And by the way, he's only be back for one movie. He leaves, and then the universe is back in a mess. That's not what you want. You don't want $1 billion movie and then everything else makes $200 million. That's not what you want. This is not what you want. So you gotta get the universe roaring where people are excited and they want to see new shit. Look, you got the X-Men are still like, if ever it's going to get back up there, this Deadpool Wolverine movie is going to tell you exactly how people feel about it, right? Like they're really going to come out and they're really excited for it. It's because they're really excited for the X-Men. The TV show has told us that. Like we already know people are fucking excited for it. The sooner you get to that shit and you get the universe fucking jumping again, then I'm not mad at that. Like one last ride of the Avengers, maybe that's when you do your Avengers versus X-Men movie. Just saying, that would be kind of fun, right? You could bring in, you could bring Robert Downey Jr. back. You could bring in a variant of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, right? Like, like another actor or something like that. And then he leaves and then the variant is there and then that's how you recast kind of thing. Like you could do all sorts of wild shit like that. But it has to be when the universe is running really, really well. Fan reception is great. New characters are running great. People are excited in the future story, right? Because we still don't really have a future story. When that all happens, if you want to bring them back, and I'd rather you didn't, that's when, and that's it only then. That's the absolute only time. So yeah. So don't is what I'm really saying. just don't. It'd be cool, but don't do it. And if you're gonna do it, make sure that shit doesn't get leaked. That's the thing, you can't afford to get leaked. You just can't. Right. You can't. Because if it's leaked, then it's why do it? But you fucking nerds, you'll all leak it and then ruin it for everyone else.
Somebody will leak it and then they'll put it in the trailer. And it's just like, all right.
Why are we even doing this? Why are we even doing it? All right. All right, let's do What the Fuck, brought to you by JTD from the Edit That Out podcast. These stories were sent to us, and I know this dude is out of town. He's in Sweden right now?
Yeah, he's somewhere. He's
look at the dedication. My God.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, JTD. What do the Swedes eat over there?
All right. Maybe they eat what's in my story.
Okay.
Gross.
They certainly don't eat these invasive Juro spiders, the size of a human hand. That can float in the air, are expected to land in this place this summer. It's raining giant spiders. Ugh. Spiders that can float on the air and grow to the size of a human hand have been invading this place for more than a decade, and now they could be touching down in this place.
Australia.
Not at all, buddy.
Shocked.
The Juro spiders are native to East Asia and are known for spinning massive sticky webs. It is in America. Where is this at in America?
America? Sounds like some bayou type shit.
They are expected to land in New York City this summer.
Oh, best of luck, guys. Best of luck. Oh, New York is the greatest city on earth. Well, good luck with your hand-sized fucking flying deadly spiders. Best of luck.
You know what? This might be the best thing for New York because if movies have taught me anything, is that New Yorkers band together in a crisis. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Well, get your shotguns and start shooting these things out of the air.
Get your fucking ball bats and your Tims and your fucking and your fucking what else do New York and your Yankee hats and start stomping on these spiders. They have been recently confirmed as far north in the U.S. as Maryland, and or Maryland as us locals call it. And new research suggests that they will land in New York City as early as this summer. These things, they can stretch out to the size of a human hand, but they can kind of, when they bunch up, they can be the size of about a quarter. These are some ugly motherfuckers, man. Like they kind of, I mean, they're not like, they're colorful, right? Like as far as spiders go, like you look like you can get some powers from one of these things, right? But nah, yo, they're huge.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm super good. No,
Yeah, my wife does not need to see this story. She will. She would jump out of herself and die.
Look,
Shit.
I'm good. I'm super good, dude. Like there is literally no reason for me to visit the state and or city of New York during these trying times. I'm good. Should I be in Maryland next week or in almost 2 weeks, and I'm not so sure I want to go now, considering they've been seen in the state. Like, no, this sounds like a terrible idea. All right, my story. Bizarre, they say. Ice cream vendor mixing sperm in ice cream. Video goes viral. Okay, the video would go viral of me beating the piss out of someone who did that. In a disturbing incident, a man operating a roadside ice cream stall was caught engaging in the appalling act. A video surfaced showing him masturbating and adding his semen to what seemed to be a container of ice cream. The censored footage of this disturbing behavior spread on social media, highlighting the individual who managed the ice cream stand. Okay, that's not okay, guys. The video circulation led to widespread disgust among people and admiration by creeps who questioned the motives behind the ice cream vendor's extreme actions. Consequently, food safety authorities and law enforcement conducted a raid on the ice cream facility. A raid? All right, it's not Mar-a-Lago. Relax. After receiving this disturbing information, several individuals involved in producing and distributing these contaminated ice creams have been apprehended and are undergoing interrogation. Legal proceedings have been initiated against them under relevant sections of the law, the gist sections, and they have been remanded into custody. Where is this?
Well, usually when it's something perversely sexual, I would say Japan, but I'm gonna say, like, this seems like some dirty, like, I don't want to default to Russia, but it feels like, no, this feels like something that would happen in like Europe, like England or something like that to me.
It's India, unfortunately.
Ah, well, there you go. You and your people.
Nope. I don't claim them. No, this is unacceptable. This guy is doing a thing that he should not be doing. Why are you jerking off into the ice cream?
Oh, this is fucking disgusting.
There's video. Yep, he's just like, oh shit, here you go. Why though? But why though? Like, why? Why? What is your weird kink, man? You like having people eat your sperm? That's fucking gross. If I found out,
like, his dick in the cone, or is he just like glazing the ice cream?
I think he's glazing it. I think he's glazing himself and then glazing your ice cream. This is what happens when you eat ice cream, everybody. This happens in 90% of ice cream. Mike,
I wouldn't know. I have sworn off of that shit.
Yeah, well, damn. And this was the reason. It was this story that put you over the edge. Speaking of edging, yeah, this guy is. I am deeply ashamed of myself for that one. That was terrible and rude. Yeah, this is not cool, man. Instead of filming this guy, you should have fucking clotheslined him like this was the fucking Attitude Era.
Yeah, who was filming it, yo?
They're like, is this hilarious? I'd be like, yo, go beat him up. Go beat him up.
You're an accomplice at this point.
Yeah, because they sold
or an accessory at the very least.
A fluffer, if you will. Like you're distributing porn. This guy,
like if this was Seinfeld, you would be on trial and be going to jail.
Get the fuck out. This is it like they're different. They're different pipes. Like you don't want to get them all mixed up. Like you can't do this. No, this is terrible. And again, you should have beaten that guy up. The fact of the matter is, you should have beaten him up. You don't film this.
It's a problem with people nowadays, man. Like, well, you need some real superheroes over there, man. Because what the fuck? Some kid is gonna eat that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, you're allowed to go up behind someone doing this and just choke them the fuck out. Like I'm 100% behind vigilante justice in this regard. I'd be like, pull your pants up and I'm gonna choke you out because I don't need to be like choking you out and then your dick's out. Like that's weird because people think we're together. Like it feels like this is like a protocol that we're doing. No, but I'd be like, zip your pants up and you'd be like, why? And then I would fucking choke you out. Like that's insane. So. That's
hilarious. Yeah. Like you want to do the right thing, but God, that pesky homophobia kicked in.
Yeah, like I was raised in the 90s. It's not my fault. Just pull your pants up, and then I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. But like, at the same time, I don't want to see your dick. I just don't want to see it. I don't think I'm wrong in that. I think he's wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. He is wrong.
Yeah,
like let's focus on the real villain, guys.
Yeah. I'm not the bad guy here. It's the other guy with his dick out in the rocky road. He's the bad guy. Like it's ridiculous.
It's the guy with the hard on and the soft serve. Like that's
That's good. That's good. All right, that might be a showtime. Yeah, I gotta figure out an image. I gotta figure out an image for that one. That's without being a little too crass. All right, trailers this week. The Killers game. This is starring Dave Bautista. This is like John Wick, but goofy.
Really stupid. This is really stupid. And as much as like we were praising Dave Bautista for, the choices he's making as an actor, and this movie looks god awful. This movie looks.
What is going?
Movie, I mean, what is happening here? What is happening? Why is Ben Kingsley in this? Why is Dave Bautista in this?
Why is he wearing this wig? What is going on with this hairpiece?
This is some like, is he smart? Like that. This is one of those roles. You know what I mean? Like this is dumb, and the premise is stupid, right? Like he plays this hitman who gets some sort of diagnosis that he's got 3 months to live, and he's like, well, I don't want to go out like no bitch, right? So he goes to a gangster played by Palm Clementif and is like, I want you to put a hit out on me. And she's like, you killed my father, so that'll be great. Right, so that'll be great. I'm gonna put a hit out on you instead of just killing him right then and there. Because he killed you. Well, but now I'm gonna get paid. If you put out the hit, how are you getting paid? You pay the person that killed him. What the fuck is going on, yo? Like the premise doesn't make sense. And even if you were somehow getting paid because this guy killed your dad, he's right there.
Just kill him right there.
I thought about doing this for years. You kill my father this way, I kill you and get paid. No, you don't. You're putting on. All right. All right, and Terry Crews is in it, and this makes me mad.
This is from the same studio that did John Wick. They made sure you knew that.
Studio,
Right.
not no one from the creative end. The same studio that gave you John Wick. What the fuck?
It almost feels like a parody of John Wick, honestly.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this to be like a joke.
But I think it is, but not intentionally. This looks bad. This looks bad. Ben Kingsley's saying, "Don't hate the player, hate the game," and Palm Clementif is using what seem to be weapons that are made out of like a yin yang sort of situation. Like, it's very weird.
This is from the same studio that brought you the Twilight Saga, guys. Like, it's from the same studio that brought you Imaginary. It's from the same studio that brought you Boy Kills World. Like, I hate marketing. I hate it. This guy's name is Joe Flood. This has to be a parody, right? This has to be.
It feels like it. I don't know why it's not called like John Blick. Like, just like, why not? At this point, it might as well just be. And look, if it was just playing itself as a stupid parody, that would be fine. I wouldn't be so hard on it. But that trailer looks fucking terrible. Like, it does not look good.
It looks god awful. And Sophia Boutella is his girlfriend. I guarantee you, she's some sort of secret hitman.
She doesn't do these type of roles, or she plays an action character all the time. And like, it's weird because she's like in this dress and she's like, "Oh, it's okay, Dave Bautista, I like you." I'm like, I can see how jacked you are, yo. Like, why are you so jacked if you're not going to be killing people, yo? Like, come on.
Right, exactly.
You look great, come on. But like, you're clearly going to be the woman who's been hired by Palm Clementif or some shit like that, but then she's going to fall for him for real. Or all right, this is enough.
Yeah, what is Ben Kingsley doing? Like, does he have like a cable bill due or some shit?
He just bought a boat. He was like, all right.
Yeah, yo. Like,
you were Gandhi, for fuck's sake. You were Gandhi, yo.
And these, like, this CGI blood and the CGI teeth coming out from this yin yang weapon. It's not.
This shit looks dumb. This looks like a movie that would have been made by the WWE. That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
Like if Dave Bautista this is his first role he's doing outside of wrestling, and WWE's like, yeah, cool. This is what we're this is the movie. It's a high quality movie. And all of his fans that are 13-year-old boys are like, this movie's amazing. This is great. By the way, I'm sorry, that was not Palm using the yin yang weapons. It's another Asian person, so I apologize. It still looks stupid. All right. Next up, the trailer for the new trailer for Alien Romulus. This looks really fucking good. It looks great. Fede Alvarez is doing this one. It looks excellent. It really looks great. And it's the same young woman from Civil War, by the way.
Is that was that like at one point this person put something on their back, and I don't know if that thing is letting you see through their chest, but you kind of see like the chest. You see the chest buster as it is like through their
it's busted
through their it's busting it's busting out of their chest.
Yeah,
it's a dope shot. It's
fucking terrifying.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, as it's often said, busting makes me feel good.
Getting face hugged is horrifying.
Put a bullet in my head, yo. Like, bullet in
like.
And they do a close up where the guy's like trying to fight it and it's like going in his mouth. He's
right,
like,
and it's
like,
going in his mouth. Ooh,
no. One, close your mouth. Close your mouth. Yeah, no, thank you. I'd be like, shoot me. That would be my last word before that thing went in my mouth. I'm like, I don't want to be given a blowjob by a spider. giving a blowjob to a spider. Kill me. Just put a bullet in my fucking head. I'm serious. Just put a bullet in my head. I like that the black dude is clearly playing the robot, which is cool. He was very good in that movie we did on Black and Black Cinema, and he's also really good on that show Industry. I forget his name. David Johnson. He's a very good actor. He's a very good young actor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This looks good. I think Fede Alvarez is a very good director. Terrence, if he was on, he would tell you that he's done the last 2 Evil Dead movies, I believe. I saw the first Evil Dead movie he did, and it was fucked up, but it was really good. But I have not seen the other one. It's nice to see alien movies look good again. So this feels more visceral to the good ones. So yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, I'd watch this. This might make up for those Prometheus movies.
You only saw Prometheus, right? You didn't see the one after it?
No, I didn't see the one after it. I saw Prometheus, and I was like, this is dumb. Like, Idris Elba has a southern accent. Somebody's running away from something falling at them, but like in the path of the thing falling. And
that was Charlize Theron.
They had a bunch of they had giants there, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And then at the end of the movie, there was a xenomorph as we know them, right?
Yeah.
The big long heads and shit at the very end. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And I had never seen an alien movie before. I figured this was fine because this takes place before those movies or whatever, right? Or supposed to, right?
Yes.
Nah, yo.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think Prometheus is supposed to be
a prequel, right? An origin for the xenomorph, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I think that's correct.
I mean, I'm not positive. Terrence is he's either nodding his head or he's like, "You what the?"
No, you idiot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is designed to be a prequel. Either way, Prometheus was not good, and Alien Covenant that came after it was also not good. The only person who was good in those movies is Michael Fassbender. Yeah, as David. He was a fucking weirdo robot, but he did a great job as that character. But yeah, the Alien Covenant was somehow worse. Like I found Alien Covenant to just be boring. It was just not a very good movie. And look, here's the thing: Ridley Scott is doing what he should have done with this franchise finally, which is give it over to a young crew of people, because they've loved these movies since '79, and they have I think they have a better sense of what horror looks like now. And Alien and Aliens was great. I've never seen Aliens 3. Have I seen Alien Resurrection? I feel like I have, which I don't think I enjoyed very much. The Aliens vs. Predator movies are dumb as fuck. Prometheus was bad. Alien Covenant was bad. So, all right, let's do Alien Romulus and make it good. I'm all for that fucking poster for it, by the way, which is a guy getting face hugged. Yikes. Crazy. All right. Speaking of quality, that's the end of the quality trailers we have to talk about today. And now let's talk about Venom: The Last Dance. This is one of the worst trailers I've seen in a really long time. Some of the CGI looks good. That's my review.
Look, this franchise has never been for me, but I'm very aware that people love it. Like, if they didn't love it, this wouldn't be the third one. So, I just don't.
Look good to you? Does it look good?
None of them do. For what I expect from certain movies, this feels like a romantic comedy, like down to the title, the relationship that these two seem to have.
Save the Last Dance?
I mean, yeah. Look, maybe I'm reaching, but these two feel like an old, not an old couple, but like the We Are Venom thing, right? Like it doesn't feel like buddy cop anymore. It feels like romantic comedy with a straight man and a goofball, right?
It was never a buddy cop thing. It was always this. It was always this.
Oh, it was always this. Okay. All right. I mean, look, I don't know if I have much to say, man. Like it just doesn't. I'm not a huge Venom guy. I like Venom, but I'm not like I like Venom in relation to Spider-Man. So like that's always been my thing with these movies. This Venom just seems like cheesy and annoying, and that's fine. It's just not for me.
Right. This looks bad. Like it looks really, really bad. It looks worse than the second one, which was bad. It's got some pretty decent CGI. Look, I'll be positive about one thing. I always like their design of Venom in this series. I think it looks pretty good. I think you could do better, but I do like the design. I appreciate the size of the character and all that other shit. Like I think they nailed that part. The sort of like I don't like the voice. I don't like how Tom Hardy portrays Eddie Brock. I don't like it at all. I don't like the universe where he exists. Everyone feels like they're just kind of flailing around. The CGI of the aliens as they're showing up at the end, they look pretty good. I'll give them that. This is directed by the person who wrote this entire franchise. That does not bode well, in my opinion, because I think, and I'll make a not that wild of a prediction, but I think I'm right. This is going to be rated R, and I think people are going to mistake this being violent for this being good. The same level of shitty writing will be here, just like it has always been, but because it's incredibly violent, or it will be violent, where the other ones have been PG-13, they're going to say, oh, this is the best one. Oh, my God, it's amazing. Don't let violence cover up for bad work. So I can't believe Chiwetel Ejiofor is even in this movie. Again, did he buy a new boat? Is that why he's here? They weirdly fuck up and retcon the Venom symbiote thing in the last Spider-Man movie, right? Like where he was at the bar and then he gets like pulled back into the universe.
Yeah.
At like a minute 27 seconds, he's back at Chiwetel Ejiofor is at that same bar with the dude from Danny Rojas from
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso, right? And he captures some of the Venom. So is there another piece of Venom there? Or are they retconning the thing that happened in the last Spider-Man movie? And it makes sense that they would retcon it because they don't know what the fuck they're doing because Sony sucks.
Well, if I thought they got pulled into that world, right? Like, because in No Way Home, right? During the climactic battle, everyone started becoming pulled in, right? And you saw like you saw silhouettes in the sky of Kraven and of a couple of other things. Right. I presumed that the stinger at the end of that movie with Venom was that he got pulled into the Marvel,
the MCU
616. Yeah, he got pulled into the MCU, and then if I remember correctly, he gets pulled back out.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
But he left but a piece of the symbiote was left in the MCU. But if Chiwetel Ejiofor has a piece of that symbiote, that means that he's already in the MCU. And so how did he get to...
Right. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Unless he got... No, because the bar is in the MCU, right? Right. That's what How is Chiwetel Ejiofor there? He's not playing Baron Mordo. Like...
Right.
What is happening? Like, again... This is the same thing Sony did with what's his face? Vulture.
With Michael Keaton's character, right?
Yeah. Hey, how did I get here? Must have something to do with Spider-Man. All right, you want to team up, Morbius? What? What are you talking about?
Oh shit.
So like I feel like they make these movies. I don't think they watch the other movies. I think they get an outline and they're just like, yeah, let's do that.
I don't think they care. Even if they do watch them, I just don't think they care, right? Like, especially with this particular property, because this particular property is the one that like broke through and made it.
I blame
because people like Venom. People like Venom. I get it. People like Venom. Venom looks cool. I get it. But like, we are Venom. Like, it just... All right.
Like, is Venom supposed to be a goofball character?
I mean, I guess it depends on who's writing him, right? Like, in the 90s, Venom was goofy, right? Like, that turd in the wind line was taken from the comics, but... and you have to do something, right? You have to make this character something, because there's no Spider-Man for him to bounce off of. Right? There's no Spider-Man for him to be bitter about. You have to make this character have something. So I guess this is it. And people want it, right? Like, it's okay to like a B movie. You know what I mean?
It is a B movie.
It's okay for me to not like it too. Oh, for me to not be interested. I won't say I won't like it because I've never seen them, and I refuse to see a Venom movie without seeing a Venom and Spider-Man movie. Like, I refuse. No.
Yeah, somebody said, I can't believe we got a Venom trilogy. Yeah, me either.
It's
with a Venom horse at the end. All right, cool. All right. Good job, guys.
Hey, man. If you like it, then more power to you. It can't be worse than Madam Web, right?
I still haven't
can't
watched
be worse
that movie.
than.
I still haven't.
Yeah, well,
it's
don't.
on Netflix.
Yeah, I refuse. I refuse to watch it where anybody will get any type of credit for that movie. I would have to watch it the way Terrence watched it, and I don't want to even risk that. So,
I mean, fair enough. Fair
enough.
All right, that is it for us for this week. We will be back next week for another episode.
See you.